Hi, everybody. Welcome to my latest announcement in video form this time around. I wanted to make a quick video to talk a little bit about libraries. There have been a lot of anti-library sentiments going around on the discussion board this week, and I want to really encourage you to spend some time looking into the library resources at Post. I feel like we're so comfortable with using online resources, and yet the same online system we use to get into the library suddenly seems crazy and unusable. Um, I can assure you it's not, and that librarians in general, but especially at universities like Post, are there specifically to help you get the information that you need. Um, you're not going to be able to just rely on Google for the rest of your college career. Even if you have instructors who uh, don't mind if you use a lot of websites, by and large, in academic writing, you want to be using academic sources. And I promise you, the library has something on almost every topic in the world. Typically, it's just a matter of knowing what to call it, or to know where to go to get some help. So I want to share my screen with you. And we're going to start off in our classroom, and I'm going to show you how to navigate a little bit the library resources, because I feel like that is a part of what went wrong for some of you when you tried to use the resources and got confused. And then, of course, once we get confused, we get antsy, and then we just go back to what we're comfortable with. So let's take a look at the library. So easy peasy, we click library. Now, just like Google, the library has this beautiful bar, just like Google, right here, that you can use to search information. But I want to point out a couple of other things on this home page, because I feel like this is where we don't always know where to go for help. The cool part is there is literally a spot here to talk to a librarian. Now, I realize if you are, writing your paper at 11:58 when it's due at 11:59, chances are you're not going to be able to get a live librarian to help you. But most college libraries, especially in the age of COVID, are using a system like this. So it's just like using an online chat window in Facebook or in any, a lot of even business websites now have that, where you can chat with a live person. So you put your name in, optional, you can make up a name, I guess, and start the chat. And you can actually have a librarian help you look for information. They love that stuff. Now, I am good at searching libraries, but if I have a project that I am worried about the research for, I will immediately contact one of my librarian friends, because they love that stuff. I'll give you a great example. Class I teach at my normal day school is a tech writing course, and I just found out that the book is out of print. So I immediately emailed one of my favorite librarians. I love all my librarians, but one of my favorite librarians. And I was like, I need a new book, and I would like to use one that's free and fully online. Within 15 minutes, she had sent me a list of 10 potential open access resource textbooks for this course. I could have done it. I could have Googled it, but I used a real librarian, and I got it within like 15 minutes. When I was in grad school, I would take my topic to the librarian at the desk, and I would hand it to her, and I would go, this is the story I want to write about. And she would come back with all these sources. So please make use of that. Make use of the talk to a librarian. The other thing I want to point out on the homepage before we do an actual search is the library tutorials page. So under library links, go down here to library tutorials, because again, librarians love to help you find information. So if you look the side here, over on the right-hand side, we've got the overview, we've got research guide, research help guides, virtual library resources, library tutorials, et cetera, et cetera. I want to click on the tutorials for a second because a lot of things that we need to know: how to evaluate information, what is an academic versus a popular journal. There are presentations here for you to refer to. Research help guides is another one that I find particularly helpful because that gives you guides by subject, by type, by owner, all kinds of things. APA, for example. Notice there's an APA style sheet available right there. If you're interested in criminal justice, if that's your field, there's a guide for you. Here's one for the English art class on evaluating databases. Let's click on that. And there's a whole presentation there on how to evaluate sources. Actually, there's more than one, so super helpful. All right, so let's go back to the main library page though, because I want to show you about searching. And again, a lot of it comes down to sometimes just not having the right search term or something along those lines. Let me go back to the home page. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. Where did I go? Let me go back to, oh, here it is. Okay. So our argument papers all had to do with social media, right? So I'm going to sign in. And it's going to ask me for keywords. Now, when you use this major search, you are searching for books, videos, articles in journals, articles in magazines. You are searching for all kinds of published information all at one time. So it is exactly like Google, but for published information that is owned by the library. So let's put in social media and work. Let's do workplace. It'll also kind of help guide you. So if I don't have any idea what I want to talk about, let's just put in social media. Notice I've got some information here. I've got some specific publications. Here's one, social media for nurses. If I was going into nursing, I might be interested in that. Education and social media. So there's a lot of potentials that come up, even if you have just the basic thing. But we're going to do and workplace. So let's click that one and search. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the massive searches that are pulling up all kinds of information. But the library will give you a rundown by symbol and by these little things to tell you what it is that you're looking at. This one's an academic journal. This one's an academic journal. We have a lot of academic journal articles. Here's a report. And we can limit it to certain things. Here's one that just says a periodical. So this is probably in a more quote unquote popular periodical rather than an academic journal because that's the way it's coded. If we know, for example, that we have to have academic journals or that we only want to look at ebooks or whatever the case may be, let's say I know I want to find a book. I'm going to click on ebooks. There are 100,000 in this list. One of them is education and social media, which is one that we saw just a minute ago. Pragmatics of social media. I probably don't need social media in Iran. It's not my area of specialty. But here's a good one. Social media recruitment, how to successfully integrate social media into recruitment strategy. A couple of you talked about that. Finding potential workers or screening out potential workers through social media. So there's all kinds of things. Let's just click on one so you see what it looks like. So if we open an ebook, we are going to have a record, just like we would if we were in a real library looking for a print book. To me, this is one of the most important pages because of this little button over here called the Cite button. So remember all the struggles we had in putting together an APA reference? Done. It's taken care of. There it is. Okay. Copy that, paste it into your Word document, you're ready to go. Now, when I want to read the book and I want to get quotes from it and whatever else, I'm going to pull up the full text, and you've got two choices, a PDF or an EPUB. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to use the ePublished one. Doesn't really matter what you use. Either one is fine. But the nice thing about ebooks is that they are searchable, and they always give you this nice little table of contents. So for example, if I know that I want to look at the future of social media and education, I'm going to look specifically at part 3 here. So let me click on that, and you'll notice it's just like reading a regular book. You also can copy and paste. So if you want to get a direct quotation and you want to make sure you don't misspell anything, you can copy that and paste it into your document as well. Now, that still has to be cited with the little parenthetical citations that are going to match up with our end citation. In fact, there's another cite button here. Let's see if it gives us the same thing. Scroll down to APA. Yep. So when I cite this book in my paper, I'm going to have all the authors' last names. So Greenhout, Sonnabend, and Agar, and the year 2016. That's what's going to go in my little parentheses that goes with my quotations or my paraphrases of information from this text. So there's a quick and dirty little version of how to use the library. I promise you, it doesn't matter what kind of sources you're looking for or what kind of topics that you have. Library research is always better than Googling, always. And if you make it a habit to start using the library quickly, you're going to get much better grades on papers because your instructors, even in non-English classes, are going to be so impressed that you're using real, good, academic, reliable sources. So please, let's try to give the library a positive review going forward. And I hope this helps everybody with the library, coming to you live from my porch in sunny Florida. Everybody take care.